Alright, hi guys. I thought I would do a tutorial on Invisible Ink. I most recently did a little look at it, and I failed miserably, but I've been playing it quite a bit since. And I have some tips for new players, and maybe just a general how to play that may help anyone interested in getting into this fine game get into this game. So this time I'm going to start a game, and we're going to begin on beginner difficulty. And the reason I'm doing this on beginner difficulty, there is a tutorial, but I can't remember if it's any good or not. But you won't need it because I'm doing this. So beginner difficulty, and you can actually pick the templates here. I did endless in my last video, and it was tough, challenging. I'm trying to actually just beat the campaign, the expansion. So I'm trying to beat it on beginner. I'm having a very hard time. It's very challenging in the late stages of the campaign, even on beginner. Um, and then it also makes for like a really kind of a laid back and easier early game experience, which is kind of a nice way to blend into the harder end game stuff. You can click on show settings and see the specifics. You can actually customize this to be even easier. Like if you're just learning the game, don't be afraid to be like, I'm gonna have like 10 rewinds, and I'm gonna have extra credits when I open up a security vault, or I'm gonna start with the maximum of 20 power to begin with to start hacking things, and all these things can be tweaked. Like if I KO a guard, he's out for the rest of the time I'm playing this map, kind of stuff. You can definitely tweak it to be even easier than just beginner. I just picked beginner because I wanted to have a little bit of experience doing things with like the default settings. So, with that said, let's just go ahead and get right into it. It's going to play a little video that I'm going to skip past because at this point, if you're seeing this, you may want to see the video for yourself for the first time, or you've already seen it a bunch. Uh, there's a lot to be said for your starting two agents because there's a couple that are just so good, it's hard not to have. I mentioned International before because she has a wireless emitter, which allows her to remotely see anything that's hackable well before she can visibly see it, which makes finding things to hack, like cameras and such, very trivial. And without having that ability, it gets to be kind of challenging. So I recommend her for any beginner player. I also recommend Decker, the other default guy, because he starts with a cloaking rig, which lets him once per 8 turns just become invisible. Like, that's kind of the most powerful thing in this game. They both start with a fairly decent neural disruptor to knock guys out every 3 turns, and they're out for 2 turns. His ability to uncover what's called daemons. Daemons are a very unpleasant program that triggers when you hack a device with a daemon installed. You can usually see when there's a daemon installed, and often you can see what the daemon's going to do before you hack it, but not always, especially as the game progresses. Daemons can do horrible things like everybody has 2 less action points per turn for the next 4 turns, just terrible things. So being able to uncover what a daemon's going to do to you if you hack a device is handy, because you can decide, you know what, this corporate safe is not worth every guard having +1 armor. So that's good. But instead of Decker, another one I like a lot. This guy's good for range combat. He can kill guys. Um, but maybe a little bit later on you want to play with some of these other guys. I actually like Banks a lot. Banks is good because she starts with a custom paralyzer, which knocks guys out for an additional 3 turns when she uses her disruptor to knock them out. And some of this stuff I'll explain a little bit further as I'm playing. But her big ability is she can hack those red security doors that you're going to see on the levels. Normally, if you want to get through one of those security doors, you got to take a guard out or steal from him when he's not looking and get his pass key. But Banks can just do it. She can walk up to a door and unlock it. Boom, done. That's really handy for every map at the beginning of the map. So I'm going to pick Banks and International, although once you're comfortable with the game, especially with the expansion characters, some of these are really interesting. In my previous video, you saw me use, I think it was this guy, who could throw a beacon and teleport to it. That I'm actually looking forward to a game where I can get him and play with him. And then a side note in terms of tips, I don't believe you can ever find these expansion, the contingency note right here lets you know it's an expansion character. Don't believe you can actually find these guys in detention centers. So if you want to play with one, you have to pick one at the beginning of the game. But for now, let's just pick a couple of good basic characters. Alright, so now we've got our characters. We need to figure out what our programs are going to be. There's two kinds of programs that you can start with. One that generates power, and one that lets you spend power to break firewalls. So by default, you get a power drip, 1 power per turn. Also, you could have breaks a firewall for 2 power. That's the default. I'm going to pick these because this is what most players are going to have to pick when they first start playing. But as you complete a run, and it doesn't have to win the game, just at some point you're going to get cornered, nothing you can do about it, just retire the agency and start a new game. And when that happens, even if you just retire the agency after like a couple missions, you get experience points. Your profile does. The game itself does. And as you level up, you'll unlock new programs and new characters. So I've got a couple of programs here. I like this one. It costs 5 up front, but it gives you 3 power per turn for 4 turns. And then you can do it again. So you get 12 power altogether. This is quite good. Seed is neat. It doesn't cost anything as a passive, but just every turn, the first thing you want to do takes 4 less power to run. So that thing that was going to take 6, you can do it for 2, but just the first time every turn. Dynamo generates 2 power per turn, but once you get to alarm level 2, you get no power. You get nothing. This is good if you're really efficient at quickly going through a level and getting in and out before the alarm level goes past 2. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. You don't get any power dripping in until after alarm level 2. So that makes it a little bit trickier, actually. Because you'll have to start with only the power you begin the map with, and any power you can find from consoles in the map. Burst is interesting. I don't quite think it's very good myself. I mean, getting 3 power for nothing is nice, and giving your agents an extra 3 action points is amazing. But for 2 turns on cooldown, they get -3 action points for the next 2 turns after that. So I don't know. That could be really good if you combine it with some other stuff. Have to see. Alright, so power drip. I like mercenary. This is fun. It takes 0, break 2 firewall, but then it becomes more and more expensive each time you use it. But it does reset each alarm level. Alarm levels happen frequently, so it resets a lot. But for now, like I said, let's just start with the basics and start with basic characters you'll have fairly quickly, if not right away. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, first thing you have to do, day 1, every
Operator,
time.
are you there?
I'm going to close this, but you can actually listen to them if you want. You have to go to the executive terminals. It'll randomly spawn somewhere, and get a site list, which gives you the rest of the locations to explore the rest of the map, the rest of the campaign. We have a time limit. We only have 72 hours before basically the end game happens, and if you don't have the contingency plan expansion, you complete the game. If you do have the contingency plan expansion, it keeps going and gets crazy hard. Alright, so let's go.
Executives are notoriously slack when it comes to network security, and their terminals are full of interesting information. We found a lightly guarded executive complex here. Get in, find the computer, and steal their contact list. Then we'll have our pick of future targets.
There you go. Pick of future targets is exactly what we want. And actually, these locations can pop up later on in the campaign, and then you can go and do them and get more locations yet on top of that.
Firewall down. Alarm response.
Alright, so Incognito has teleported us through their firewall and into the corporation. Here's Incognita. She's a quantum AI construct. We're going to use her to hack stuff. Well, once we get somewhere to hack. So we're going to... Banks is selected right now, but when I click on International, because of her wireless emitter, she'll detect nearby things. These red consoles are how you gain power. Anyone can get power from them, and then depending on your hacking stat, you get more and more power. You'll notice she's got hacking 2, so there's +1 power per console. And if I mouse over this, it says hijack 1 power +1 bonus. So I'll get 2, 4, and 6 power. Let's just do that. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. If Banks wanted to do that, she'd have to walk up adjacent to it, and then you'd see her pull her little laptop out and hack right into it and get the 1 power she gets, because she only has a hacking of 1. So having her do any hacking is not very efficient. Although in a pinch, you may need 1 more power. So we're going to go back into here, and we have 16 power. Nothing we can do with it. Yet. So let's move international. There's a regular door that she can go through here. And you see these red, these little security doors? She can't. But we have Banks. And like I said before, Banks' ability lets her pick these locks. So we're going to pick both of them. And you can spend 1 action point to peek through a door. Okay. There's this is a vision cone of something. Could be a camera. Could be a guard who will walk past here. We're going to have her come up here. Take a peek. I don't see anything, so we're going to just move up a little bit. Now with her wireless scanning, she sees a camera right here. This is what makes her very useful no matter what, because she can see this camera without having to like poke around the corner here and see what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Cognita. There's the camera. It's got 1 firewall. And what does this do? Break 1 firewall for 2 power. So we're going to spend 2 power here and hack the camera. We're down to 14, but we've hacked the camera, which gives us sight. And you'll notice, let's rotate the camera, there's a guard right here. We can spend another action point to observe him, and see he's going to patrol this direction right here. Let's also, while we're thinking of it, let's grab this, plus 2 power, plus 5 power. I don't know why that was so much more. This is a good console, I guess. Now we have extra power to spend, let's hack this safe. That's where we get credits. Credits are used to purchase goods and level up your characters. Alright, so she's kind of done her job in this direction for now. I kind of want to move this direction with her. And have Banks come around here. Okay. And that's all we can do. Alright. Security level raises up as you take turns. If you get spotted, things if you kill a guard, the alarm goes up quite a lot because they have like some sort of vital sign sensor on their bodies. Just trying to avoid killing. Actually, it's best to avoid interacting with guards at all. Sure, you can knock them out pretty easy if you get behind them and just take them down, but when they wake up, they're going to know something happened and start searching actively. You don't want that. You want to avoid triggering or interacting with the guards for as long as possible. It makes it a lot easier. So right now we're going to move international this direction here. Let's peek through this door. Nothing going on over here. The Alt key lets you toggle by holding it. I guess it's not a toggle. The tactical view. I find it to be very useful to look and see if there's any doors that I maybe can't see because of the level art and stuff. So we're going to move her in here. We're going to move her up here and peek through this door here. Okay. Nanofabricators are how you spend money to buy items. They're very, very cool. We definitely want to hack that while we can. We'll get up there with our 500 credits that we started the game with and see if we can buy a cool thing for her. And that's all we can do on turn 2. Guard comes back this way. I think the smart move would be to run over here because there's this corporate safe I've unlocked here and I'd like to get it. So I'm just going to put her right here so she's going to be hidden from this location from this guy when he comes around here. He won't see her at all. And we're going to go back this way and move forward with her. Nothing in that room at all. Alright, that's all we can do there. Now remember the goal is to find the site list. So we have a lot of area to explore, but once we find it, we can get out of here. We're also looking for the teleporter exit. Okay, he's going to come back this way, and I don't want to be sitting here when he does. So the question is, do I spend 1 AP to get in front of this door, a 2nd AP to peek through it, and then if there's something right on the other side of the door, I can't walk into the room and shut the door behind me, I'm trapped with this guy right here. This is sort of a a problem. Because with 2 AP, what could I do back if I... Worst case scenario, I'll have 2 AP when I'm standing in front of this door, but I can still move 1 and then 2 and get back here to hide. So let's go for it. Oh, so let's there's nothing in here I can see. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's fine, walk through, close the door behind me, and we'll hack this corporate safe and get some more money. Meanwhile, let's keep exploring this direction. Well, here we go. Here's our exit. We can get this camera. You know there's a guy here. He's patrolling. He's not stationary. I'm not gonna mess with him. It's just good to know where I need to be when I need to exit the level. Let's move her one step closer, and there we go. Not too bad so far. No one has any idea we're even here. Alright. Let's go down here, and what's this direction? Probably nothing, but it's fine. Let's have her. Now, this guy, if you always sprint, but it makes a lot of noise, and I don't know what the range of the sound is. Like if I do a sprint right here, will this guy hear me? Because I definitely don't want him to come out here and start investigating the area. And we got plenty of time. On beginner level, nothing happens at security level 1. You don't have any new security measures coming in until you hit security level 2. So let's just keep going this direction here. We'll explore this way with the nano fabricator while she keeps going this direction.
Alarm level 1.
We've cracked first layer of Incognita's encryption. Oh man, there's a safe right here. Look at that. I guess there was something worth doing. Oh, it's a Firewall 2 save. It's probably worth, yeah, quite a lot of credits. Wow. We have a lot of credits. We can buy some really cool stuff from that nano fabricator if the fabricator has cool things worth buying. And we can get some more of that. Let's move forward another step. So I'm going to guess, since there's no other doors here, and by the way, these red doors are potential spawn points for additional guards if they get summoned from the alarm going up. So I'm thinking past this door is the only door we haven't really explored. And so this is probably where our site list is going to be located. Which means we need to get Burt Banks into there. Buy some cool stuff here. And then both of us had a rendezvous here at the exit point. Taking this guy out, probably. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what we can purchase. We got a better Neural Disruptor 2. We have just Neural Disruptor, which has the same 3-turn cooldown, but it knocks guards out for the same amount of time, but it's got Armor Piercing 1. That's very important. The Chameleon Movement is an augment. It's like a cybernetic augment, which, if we become cloaked for any reason, gives us 6 extra action points, which is amazing, but it's a bit of a gamble. Like, you can go through a whole game and never find a cloaking rig, which you would need to become cloaked, typically. Now, if we had Decker, who starts the game with a cloaking rig, and he could buy this right now, it would be a no-brainer, because he could just become cloaked and get 6 extra, almost doubling his action points. That's amazing. Instead, we're going to buy this, because having another way to take a guard out, especially an Armor Piercing 1, for those Armor 1 guards, that's really, really nice to have. It would just save the extra money for leveling up a little bit. Alright, so let's get her up here. She is a guard right there, so we're going to be paying attention and not jump in there yet. There's actually a door here I didn't notice either, so that might be a little bit tricky. Alright, there's only 2 guards in this whole level, though, so we can always take him out if we have to. I won't be able to get past him. I'll just sneak past him. See, I can't go... If it gives you the path, and you don't want to see any yellow or reds in the path, because that's bad. It's real bad. If I go here, he won't see me. And it'll take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of her... What does she have for action points? 9. Looks like 8. Looks like. So, that's plenty. I'll just go up here. No reason to rush anything. Well, while both of them come out here. I can always knock one out and pin him. If you knock a guard out and then squat on top of him, his number of KO turns does not increase or decrease. Or yeah, he stays down while the whole time you're pinning him. All right, so do I go here and then peek, or go here and then peek? Let's play it safe. I have 3 extra action points to play with here. Perfect. Shut the door behind me. Keep exploring.
That's an
There we
executive
go.
terminal. It still has a solitaire game up on the screen.
Perfect. And then she. Let's get her. I think right here she's probably safe from being seen, but I hate to take the chance. Oh, we can hack some more power. We don't need to. There's nothing to hack. I'll save it in case I change my mind later. Oh, that actually, I think he would have seen her there. Alright, let's get this.
Good job. You've got the site list. They noticed you poking about and have changed up their patrols. Be careful on your way out.
So I bet you if I observe him now, he's gonna actually, yeah, see he's pathing right now into this room because of that change that we just found. They're changing up the guard routines. He's been alerted and he's gonna go check this location out right here. Let's not let him do that. We're gonna get right next to him where he can't see us, and we're gonna knock him out with our neural disruptor. I gotta equip this one, but there's no reason to use it. So I will just knock him out. He's down. He's not a threat. And as long as I pin him, he's down for 3 turns. Let's also steal any valuables he may have. I don't need it, but I'll grab the card. And there we go. Now we're going to hit security level 2, which is going to do something.
Guess it was nothing.
Here. Okay. Extra cameras are coming up. So we should probably take a peek at the Incognita program and see where those are at. I can see we got this guy here is coming online, or rebooting. This one and this one. We're just going to pay to retain control of those cameras. Alright, let's just run, because there's no reason not to. There's no guards around us. Oh, I was really, really wrong about that. Okay, so this room I completely forgot about. I heard someone walking around. I knew there was someone else in here. This is a problem, because she's going to get spotted when this guy opens this door. Now I have an option. I can equip the second one. I can stand right in front of the door. And I can set myself up as an ambush. So when he pops this door open, I'll take him out immediately. Also, while we're here, let's grab this corporate safe and this camera. Let's see what happens. There we go. Got him. Very good. Let's steal his goodies. Let's take the time to get this corporate safe. And we got 3 turns on him and 2 on him. Let's just get out of dodge. Alright, there we go. By the time these guys wake up, we should be far enough away to not worry about it too much. Let's see, he's pretty far away from me. If I run here, will he still hear me? Let's assume he does, and I'll end my turn hiding behind this weird piece of art. You can see the little shield will tell you where you're hiding against, so he won't see me if he runs through that door looking for my noise. Nope, he didn't hear me. Excellent. It's good to know. You're going to run through here. Opening and closing doors takes no action points, so always try and remember, I'm not good about it, but always try and close the door behind you so that no one, like if a guard walks through here, doesn't look through this door and see me.
What happened?
Alright, now, she hasn't used her disruptor, so let's go ahead and have her come in here and knock this guy out. Now, she has an anarchy stat of 2. And the anarchy stat of 2 lets her steal from guards without them being aware of it, instead of having to steal from KO'd guards, which right here isn't a big deal because we're getting ready to exit the level, so I just took him down and I'll just take his stuff. But if it was early in the mission, you could get up behind a guard who's not aware you're there. You could steal his money. You could take his security card. It's very handy. One of the first things I like to do is get everybody, all my agents, on Anarchy level 2, so they can steal from any guard that they are right next to. We're also going to paralyze this guy. No reason, just to be jerks, I guess. And we're going to run.
They're down. I'm calling it in.
Yep, you guys can call in all you want. We're out of here. Here we are. We can easily make it to the level and exit.
That executive had a very interesting list of contacts. I'm sure they won't miss it.
There you go. Fairly well executed, if I do say so myself. I only had 3 guards in the level, so, I mean, beginner difficulty kind of has the kid gloves for the first, like, several days, which, again, to me, is kind of cool because it gets really hard, and once I beat the expansion on the beginner setting, I'm a little scared of playing it on the normal, just regular experience setting. But, you know, I'll give it a shot after that. Okay, now I've got 900 credits, and it's not a bad idea to upgrade my guys. First things first, let's upgrade her Anarchy International so she can also steal from behind. And let's upgrade her speed. Since the further out she moves, the more wireless objects she can pick up, we're going to give her an extra action points by spending 500 on that. So there we go. And she doesn't need 2 disruptors, but as you saw, it's handy to be able to use 2 different disruptors. So for now, she can hold both of them, and if we get a chance to rescue another agent and have a 3rd agent in our party, I'll have another weapon to give to him right away.
I've re-established contact with Monster.
Speaking of which, let's skip past the dialogue because you'll get a chance to hear that yourself. Now we got the contact list. We have a detention center where we'll have an opportunity to rescue potentially another agent to join us, or a vault where we can get
the corporations have trillions in credits and assets, and they're too paranoid to trust it all to the banking system.
Can be sold, so we get a lot of money from this one. Money, of course, is important. You can spend it on missions to buy items, very important items, or you can upgrade your characters with it. So money is really important to get. Or you can go to this nanofab vestibule.
Most nanofabs have...
You saw the nanofab that was in that mission. They spawn occasionally in various maps, and they're handy. But when you go to these mission types, you can get the high-end nanofabs that have like a dozen items to pick from and some very high-end loot to pick from. It's really actually best to go to something like this, like a vault, get a bunch of money, then come here and spend it. But the top priority in the Invisible Inc. is to go to your detention centers and try and get additional agents to join you.
Detention centers hold high value...
So we're going to pick that. I'm not going to do this mission right now, but I hope that you picked up a few tips and a few tricks and kind of learned the ins and outs of how the game flows and how it works. But I'm going to try my best to come through here, retrieve the agent, and then have a 3rd guy with me. Now, sometimes you come to a detention center, it's just a prisoner who, if you escort out, you get a bunch of money. But most likely, the first detention center you hit in the map is going to have another agent for you to pick up. So, I think that'll wrap it up for me here. This is a tight little 29 minutes. I hope that helped anyone out there who's trying to play the game. I tried to sprinkle in some of the things I picked up while I've been playing. It's always important to, keep your sightlines checked, peek, plan out your action points so that you aren't in a situation where you open a door and there's a guy there and you got no action points left to do anything about it. You don't want that to happen. And just play. Like, the more you interact with the game's elements, the more comfortable and familiar you become with them, and then from there it just becomes a matter of gaming the system. Alright, well, on that note, I'm going to stop recording, but thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to comment, and as always, like and subscribe. It makes me feel good. Alright, thanks, guys.